How do you do?
I do just fine.
I do just fine.
Yes.
You had a conversation with
My cousin.
She's your cousin.
Yes.
And you guys were talking about childhood memories.
Yes.
And I heard you talking about someone's house that they sold, and you guys were mad they were selling someone's house. What was that all about?
Oh, my Aunt Mabel's house. It was my dad's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked so different, and they sold it. And they painted it, for crying out loud. Why would anybody paint? It was flagstone, different colored flagstone. And they colored it. They painted it gray.
You know, there's a lot of people that think that they have to update everything. Everything has to be painted, and it's always done white and black and gray, and they kind of strip a lot of character out of things now.
They did, and the lawn was so beautiful. And it's a 3,700 square foot house.
So it's like a nice average house.
Yeah. And it was a 2-bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
She had the biggest master bedroom of all.
Yeah.
And she had a big round bed in there. And the newest telephone.
What do you mean the newest telephone?
Where it was fancy, and you pick it up and you hold it like... it just had a round bottom, a stem that came up like that. It was great. But she had great big, huge closets, real long closets, a couple of them. And then in the jewelry box was a big dresser.
Yeah.
And then she had a big closet, and it was full of hats and minks and furs. So when we were little... my cousins, my sister, and the girls, we used to spend the night, spend summer over there with Aunt Mabel.
You'd spend the whole summer?
I can't remember if it was the whole summer, but it seemed like it. I'm not sure. I should have asked first. But anyway, it was the best time of my life. It took away all the ugliness that I had when I was small.
Yeah. And...
there was a particular hat in there that I just loved. I called it the stagecoach hat.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It had a veil on it. And we used to dress up. And then she used to record us on her videotape.
Oh, do you have any of those?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
I want to see those. Who has those?
You do.
How do I have them?
I gave them to you because you knew what you were doing when it comes to...
all those film reels.
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh,
and the
geez.
8mm projector.
Oh, those have been in the garage for so many years. I hope the heat didn't ruin the film. What a tragedy that would be.
Oh,
I need to get in there right away and look at that.
Well,
Oh, that might all be melted.
No, it's not.
I hope not.
But anyway, that's what we did. And then we would go to, this is in Colorado, we would go to the North Pole, Santa's Workshop.
Where was that?
Way up by Idaho Springs, or I can't remember, up in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah.
In Colorado Springs or something, I can't remember. But then we'd go to the Garden of the Gods and Cave of the Winds.
Wow.
Oh, we were entertained, Steamboat Springs, and it was so wonderful.
So she was your favorite relative?
Because I just got my driver's permit, and nobody would let me drive with them, and did.
She did?
Yeah, that's why she's the greatest. She said, I think you're a good driver too. We were all very close when we were young, very, very close.
Well, that's nice. So you had really
good memories.
Yeah, and so you had really close relationships with your aunts and different family members.
Oh, all the family. When we were little, all the family used to get together.
Oh.
And I have a cousin that was a professional ballerina.
Wow.
We used to go to her shows, and she was the Black Swan.
Oh.
And she was excellent. She was an excellent ballerina.
That's cool.
Yeah, but the dressing up, and playing in the pool, and it made everything good. She just made everything good. She had no children of her own.
Right.
Anyway, she said you can pick out anything on the table that you want, and I walked around that for the longest time, and this little zippy monkey caught my eye, and I loved it. I fell in love with that monkey, and I still have that monkey.
I know, and that monkey you have sitting in Grandma's room with all these old-fashioned pillowcases on it, like these old pillowcases, and it's like sitting.
It's pillows, not just pillowcases.
No, I know, but it's like these pillows that are in old-fashioned pillowcases from like the 1920s.
Oh, so what?
And then that monkey sitting there, and when I walk into Grandma's room, that thing scares the heck out of me every single time, because I'm looking around and all of a sudden I glance over and there's that awful monkey, so old and beat up, and it looks possessed.
Demonic.
It looks awful.
No, it doesn't.
It does too.
I'd like to take it back to Mattel and see if they could recreate it.
Oh,
I would love to do that.
I used to chew its fingers when I was little. I remember I had fingers and I would bite on them.
Well, they tormented me with my monkey.
Who's they?
Oh, my brothers.
What would they do?
They would, like, if I'd run to the store to get something and I'd come back, they used to be up on the telephone pole.
Yeah.
They'd just throw it up on a telephone pole, and I'd get so upset I'd really cry because that hurt me so bad. And this is after I had both my children.
This monkey, by the way, and that doll are the two things that we had to go back to Colorado. The only reason you wanted to go get your stuff out of storage was that monkey and that doll.
Yes.
Wow.
The rest of it went in the dump.
It was dumpy stuff.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
but we had the time of our life. There is so many other things I can't think of right now, but...
Well, think of them.
Oh. Well, she'd take us to Lakeside and Elitch's, too.
So Lakeside and Elitch's
is an amusement park, like Six Flags.
Well, but Lakeside had this really cool, almost like Coney Island vibe. It was built it was very, very old, and it was around a lake. I'll put some pictures in here, too. And every time you would go to Lakeside and you'd ride a ride, you thought it was the last ride of your life because it was going to fly off of the tracks or something was going to happen and you were going to be a goner.
And Lakeside is still there.
It is still there.
And so is Elitch's, but it moved.
Well, Elitch's changed ownership and then it changed location.
Yeah.
But Lakeside is still in the same place.
And she still owns it.
Right. And your father dated the lady that owned its daughter, right? Somehow, what was that?
Well, she dated my dad, and she said she would marry him if he had quit drinking, but that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Right.
But we drove past that the last time we were in Colorado, and I can't believe that place is still standing. It doesn't look like it's safe.
I'd go any day.
I would never step foot in there. Mom, everything...
What they got rid of was the fun house. That was really fun.
I remember the fun house.
It had like a big record, and you'd try to stay on it, and it'd spin you off, and you'd fall, and then you'd walk through the barrels. I could walk through the barrels. I learned how because every time the young guys would pick me up, they'd grab me by the boobs.
Oh, geez, Mom.
They would. They'd pick me up because I'd fall, because one barrel would be turning one way, the other barrel would be turning the other way, and there was about 6 or 7 barrels you had to go through. And I finally learned how to do it. Jump on it, go this way, jump on it, go the other way. I learned how to go through that. And then they had these great big slides.
I remember those.
Great big, huge, steep slides. It was so scary, but we'd go down it anyway. And do you remember the fat ladies up there laughing?
Yes. I do. And do you remember the haunted house?
Yes.
And do you remember what happened to my cousin?
Oh, yes. She was going on a train and something pulled her ponytail.
No, I was in the cart with her. We were going through, it was like the dark ride. It was like a little haunted, scary house.
Yeah.
And we were in the little buggy or whatever it is, the little cart. And it was going around, and she had her ponytail way up high on top of her head. Right. I don't know. And she was, for some reason, scared, and she was going to get out of the ride. So she opens up the thing, and she stands up right as the skeleton drops down from the ceiling.
Right.
And her hair got caught in the the skeleton was on a metal brace.
Yeah.
And her hair got caught in the metal brace, and when it went back up, she went up with it. So there she went, goodbye. And then I'm driving all by myself in the cart. She's screaming hysterically. I've got my eyes closed. I have no idea what's happened, but a skeleton took my cousin out of the thing. We're so little. And then all of a sudden the ride stops.
Right.
All the lights come on.
Yeah.
And
she's dangling in the air by her hair.
Yeah. And they got her down. And then we were walking out. She was screaming hysterically. And then I saw she had like a bone in her hair. And that made me laugh. But, once the lights went on and you saw how it was in the brightness, it wasn't scary anymore.
Yeah.
But she never went back on that one.
But my favorite ride was the bumping bumper cars.
Really?
I love those bumper cars. I loved them. I wish they still had bumper cars.
They still have bumper cars everywhere. You can't do bumper cars with your neck.
I'll put my brace on.
No, you're not getting on any bumper cars. Mom, your neck is fused in 3 different places. No, after that car accident, you can't ever get on a bumper car again.
Oh, well, that's a drag.
Well, so it is what it is.
Jeez.
Mom, you can't. You know what my favorite ride was, and I can't even.
The roller coaster.
The wild chipmunk.
The wild chipmunk that went in that.
It was like a little bitty, like 2 or 3 people would get in a little car, and
I was afraid of that.
And
it was
would,
like going off the edge.
Yeah, the front of it would go off the track, and then it would turn, and then it would go up and down, and the front of it would go off the track, and it would turn.
Yeah.
And it always felt like you were going to go off into the lake.
It did. I didn't like that one.
No. It was.
And then that train that went around the whole park, the lake.
Yes.
And then they had also stock car races.
I don't remember
Lakeside.
the stock car races.
I used to go every Sunday.
Well,
in fact, that's how I got in trouble. I wanted to go to the stock car races, and my mom said, well, you can't go until you get that big barrel of ironing done. So my sister helped me, and we hurried up and ironed, and then we hid all that stuff under the bed.
Oh, that's where you were going, was the stock car races?
Yeah, we were going to the stock car races.
I remember that was like all the boys would use this line on all the girls in school, and because the amusement park there was like a big hill next to it called Inspiration Point, and the guys would take the girls up there, and they would say, do you want to see the submarine races under the lake at night? And they would be like, there's no submarines in the lake. And they're like, no, you can see the lights at nighttime under the water. And they were like, really? And you can see, and they race. You get the girls up there, and I was a good boy.
Well, I think my mom made a video about the Inspiration Point.
She did. She definitely did.
Yeah.
She was, I think some boys took her up there, and I think she punched one of them down the hill.
Before she married him.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. And that's a big, tall place to be knocked off of.
Not really. Again, like how you thought that your Aunt Mabel's house was so big when you were a little girl?
It was.
When you're little, everything seems huge. But 3,500 square feet that's a nice size
37.
house. Nice size house, but not what you remember as a child.
But the Christmas tree was so big, it had 1,000 ornaments on it.
Yeah.
It was the biggest tree. It was fun. It had little ice skaters, electric ice skaters that would skate around on. She put a mirror on with cotton, and it looked like a lake, and they'd go all by themselves, those little skaters. Oh, it was terrific.
That must have been really cool to see, because
great childhood.
Now I have all of that, right? Like I have that whole Christmas village, and I do all that stuff.
Yes.
But when you were a little girl, that must have been what, like 1951, 52, 53? How old were you? I don't know.
I was 10.
10, so like 56.
56.
All of that kind of stuff was new to you.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't have the internet, and you didn't have like access to everything. So seeing little figure skaters on a pond must have just been the coolest thing in the world to you.
Yeah, because it was spectacular.
Wow.
It touched the ceiling, and it was so big around you can't even imagine. You had to walk around it to see everything. It was just epic.
It's funny how DNA works, right? Like things that she loved, that she did, that passed on to me, and I've never even met her. Have I ever met her?
Oh, you once when you were 2 years old.
Oh, okay. So she didn't influence me in any way, but yet I have that same Christmas spirit that she had, and that she influenced you in so many ways. Did she influence Grandma? Because
she influenced everyone.
Well, who was Grandma's? Grandma had her aunt.
That was Aunt Doris.
Oh, Aunt Doris. That's right. That's right. Different aunt.
She was a doll.
Oh, that's nice.
She influenced me with perfume.
That's right.
Yes, and getting decked out, boy. She had it going on.
I would love to find some pictures of her. Back to amusement parks. Whoops, my phone got hot and shut down.
I know.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
But speaking of amusement parks, Danny's coming out. Nephew Danny is coming out in a couple days, and I want to go to Disneyland.
I know.
And I'm trying to get a group together to go to Disneyland.
Yes.
We'll see. But you hurt your ankle.
I know. I twisted it.
So you're not going to be able to walk around for 2 days in an amusement park.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I hope you get better.
It'll just take a while.
Okay. It's fun talking about like happy childhood memories.
Yeah.
What else do you remember about her?
Oh, what don't I remember about her? Just everything. I mean, all the presents under the Christmas tree. I mean, all my cousins, all our relatives were there, and friends, and so many presents. But in the kitchen was a drawer.
Well, guess what, Mom?
What?
Every kitchen has a drawer.
Not like this one.
Oh, was it a magic drawer?
Yes, it pulled out and lifted up, and guess what it was full of?
Dog poop.
Please.
You said guess.
Candy.
That's where you got that.
It was a candy drawer, a goodie drawer.
Yeah?
It had everything in it. Every one of us got in that drawer.
Really?
Yeah.
You did that tradition too. I remember you still have a candy drawer.
I do.
I know. I try to avoid it. It's the worst.
She influenced me on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else?
I can't think of everything. But it was just so much fun.
And whatever happened to her? What happened to the house? What happened to all, like, what happened?
Well, she passed. She had rheumatoid arthritis.
She passed from rheumatoid arthritis?
Yes.
I didn't even know that could take you.
Well, it did.
Oh.
I mean, she couldn't even get out of bed.
Oh.
You know, it was some kind of arthritis where it knocked her down. She couldn't get back
Did she
up.
have kids?
No, she didn't have any children. That's why we were all spoiled.
Oh, did anybody in the family buy the house, or did it just get sold?
No, well, it was left to my cousin that wasn't a blood cousin, and his son, his daughter's, he left it to his daughter's son, Josh.
Okay.
And he lived in it for a long time, and we'd go out and we'd, talk and everything. It was pretty cool. And then he said, I can't ever sell this house.
Right.
And I said, why? He said, we don't have the water rights. So I couldn't understand that. Why? How could they sell it?
The house didn't come with water rights?
Yeah, it didn't come with water rights, he said.
That's weird.
I never heard of that before.
Me either.
But it's so changed. It's just heart rendering. It's,
heart rendering?
What did I say?
Heart rendering.
Heart wrenching. That's what I meant. Yeah. And we go out there when we were older too. I mean, I was out there when she was in bed and couldn't get up with Josh and his brother. I don't even know what happened to those guys.
You don't?
No.
Wow. Oh, I like hearing these happy memories.
They were happy memories. My childhood, other than him beating on my mom all the time.
Your father.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. But as cousins and siblings, we had a ball.
Oh, good.
We had a good time.
That's great.
Yeah. We'd always go to one another's houses.
Yeah?
Yeah. And my cousin and all her siblings, they could play the piano. They were very talented, could play the piano and sing. And we couldn't, none of us could.
But Grandma?
Grandma could sing, my sister could sing, and my brothers could sing. I guess I was the only one that couldn't sing.
You're like, none of us could sing. Well, this one could sing, that one could sing. This one. Just me, I can't sing.
I couldn't sing. I could dance.
Yeah.
But I couldn't sing.
I can't sing either, so don't feel bad. I can't dance either.
Oh, you dance good.
I dance like there's something biting me,
No, you don't.
and I'm trying to get it off of me.
We should make a video of you dancing.
We should.
Yes.
Not ever.
Yeah. That's like me with tutorials.
No, my stomach's going one way, my chin's going the other way, and I can't keep all the
Oh,
body,
you're so self-critical.
all the flubs going in different
No,
directions.
it isn't. You're handsome, tall, and handsome, and built good.
Flubby, flubby, flubby.
No.
Anyway, well, that was a nice trip down memory lane. That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I love you.
Well, I love you more.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.